Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back. Pack 34 now of the Lancaster bomber from Hachette. And here we're going to be working on the supercharger, I believe, of our second engine. So you can see here's the engine from pack 33. If you remember, I said don't glue this piece on. I've glued it on for fear of it getting caught. And I've glued it well out of the way of that hole there, which is where the engine bearer goes, so hopefully we'll be okay. So we'll get this one open, and as usual we'll start off with the light off and we'll have a look at the magazine. We've got our little box of parts there, and then we've got the magazine. So what have they brought for us in this week's edition? Right, so here we are, pack 34. So we've got the supercharger and all our information over here. So we've got the instructions. That's all good, got magnetos and everything coming together. So what have we got here? The raid on Augsburg. It made great newspaper headlines, but the April 42 raid on Augsburg cost over half of the Lancaster bombers that took part. Wow. Oops. Lancaster L7578 KMB of number 97 Squadron, piloted by John Nettleton of number 44 Squadron, flying at low level over Lincolnshire during a squadron practice. There we go. And then here we've got the B.III. This is another one of my favourite aircraft. Beautiful aircraft. And lots of them still left flying as well. So lovely little aircraft there. And then over the page you can see what we've got coming in the next issue. And we've got the engine bearers and that tank and everything, and the radiator for our second engine. So here we go. What I'm going to start doing, when the magazines come with the next engine, I think I'm just going to go through the magazine and then just build the engine. So we'll probably have all 4 parts or whatever in one video, because it's pointless just doing the same thing over and over again and filming it, isn't it? And it's very difficult for you to see anything anyway, because everything is black and there's lots of tiny parts. So as usual, what we'll do, I'm jumping the gun here, we will start with our parts. So we have our box of parts here. Box can go for recycling, and we have bags that we can keep for putting bits in. So we got parts there, and we've got some tiny parts here. So it's also worth noting, as I've mentioned before, some of the tiny parts that really annoyed people, they have actually started pre-assembling them for us. So what we'll do, we'll check here. So we've got that part there. We've got this part here. We've got that part there. That part there, that part there. Then we got a magneto, another magneto, that little piece in between, the rubber pipe at the end, which I love those rubber pipes, as you well know. That piece there, and then that piece there. So it's all there. That's all our little bits and pieces. So we start off by getting the 2 supercharger halves. Let's get the light on so we can see what we're doing, and we'll move the magazine out of the way so we don't get the camera whiting out. So that's just going to go together like that. Okay. Take the carburetor unit 34A and fit the large peg at the top of the part into the hole in the centre of part 34B. So I've done that the wrong way round, but we'll see if we can get it all together. So we've got a peg on here. If you can make that out, there's a square peg on there. We've got a square hole in there next to the hole. So it says you may need to file out the parts to get it to go together. It is a very, very tight fit, but it does go. So there we go. So that's gone together like that. Fit the 3 small pegs on part 34 into the parts of 34B, which is what I did first of all. Turn the assembly over so that you can fit the 3 pegs on 34D into corresponding holes in part 34C. So we've got 3 pegs on there. You can see we've got a cutout in the top there. There's a cutout there. So that can go in like that. And that is a tight fit as well. So that can just all snap together. You can hear it all. Oh, blimey, that is tight. I'm going to grab my tweezers, which are supplied by Hachette, and I'm going to make sure that's gone together. So I'm going to give it a little squeeze just to get it finally together. You can hear that clipping in like that. There we are. So that's that in. Right, and then section stage 3, take part 34J and check how it fits into 34D. We may need to glue it in place. So we've got this little tiny part here. I believe that's what it is. And it's got a... Don't tell me they've cut the pin off, which is so famous for this stage of the build. They haven't. But that's going to fit in there. There's a small pin. Oh, it's just so impossible to see with all this black. There's a small pin on there, and there's a small hole in here just in front of my finger. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab a drop of super glue, this horrible MIG ammo stuff. I'm going to put that drop there. You can see how horrible and stringy it is. I can't stand stuff. And then I'm going to use it because it's there, because I've been doing some filling on another model and I use it as a filler. So there we go, that's gone in there like that. Okay, so that's gone in there, lovely. Then we've got to fit these cam drives. So these are going to go like this way round. So you've got these pins on here are going to be facing towards you. And we've got 2 pins on there and we've got 2 holes in here. So that is going to go... I can't see what I'm doing myself now because it's so much black, and now that bloody piece has come off. I'm going to have to leave it a minute and let the glue dry on that. Back in a second. Okay, so when it came to fitting this part here, I found I couldn't actually get it on. Now, there's 2 pins here which you can't see because everything's bloody black. And this larger one here is 1.3 millimeters diameter, and the hole was only about 1.1. So it wouldn't go together. So now it should go together nicely. So get that one in there. And then come over to this side. There we go. It's gone together nicely now. And there's another pin at the top there that doesn't want to go in. This is getting tiring. Yeah, that pin there won't go in either. This is just... I'll be back in a second. Right, so that has finally gone together. Oh, I'll tell you what, I don't think it's even gone together straight, has it? There is a pin on here that goes in the back of there. The pin is too big for the hole in this piece. So you can see, I'm not taking it apart again because it'll probably break. You can see there's a hole here. Okay, and there's a pin on this piece which goes into that hole. You've got those 2 pins there. So that pin there is too big for that hole in 34E. That needs to be drilled out to 1.3. And that pin on this piece is too big for that hole there. That needs to be drilled out to 1.2. So all in all, brilliant. Right, it's gone together now. And now we've got these fiddly little magnetos. So we've got 34F, and that is not 34F. That is 34F. You can see the difference. This one has this piece on the bottom here. At last we've got something that isn't black, and this one has the little pin sticking out, so you can see 34H has the pin, 34F has the flat. 34G, it's hard to know which is which, but they have these little D-shaped pins on the back, and I wish they would tell us which is which, because we don't know. So this one here from step 05 is going into this side, so the flat on the D needs to be that way round. Okay, so when you look at this one, when you look at step 5, when you turn it over, if you look at it like that, okay, so look at it like that towards you, so you've got the round, the sort of bulbous pin there and the smaller pin on the left. When you turn it over, the flat on the D on here should be before you, in front of you. Now, I remember when I did the last one of these D-shaped pins had been cut off by the person that cut them off the sprue. So you may want to just ignore what I've just said. Okay, so these are going to need a bit of glue on them. So we've got this rubbishy glue again. Sorry I'm moaning about this glue, guys, but it's just, I can't use it. It's absolute crap. Let me get some of the other stuff. So I'm just going to show you this stuff here. This is the MIG Ammo Slow Dry Black. And you can see here, when you pick it up, you can see it's just stringing and stringing, and oh, it's just a pain. Whereas, if I wipe this glue applicator off, this is the VMS Flexi 5K Black Thin, and you can see no stringing at all. Okay, so the VMS is the one to get, and now I don't know which part I've got to use. So when I put it like that, when I turn it over, the flat should be towards me, so that is the right one. So I need to put some glue on here, a bit on there. You got to remember, guys, with these VMS glues, they don't dry straight away, which is sometimes a bit annoying, but it's more of a benefit going forward, because when super glue dries instantly with stuff like this, you suddenly realise you've used the wrong bit. You can't take it apart, whereas with this you can. So that is now going to glue into the side of there. So we're going to put some glue in here, like so. This hole is massive. So the pin that's going in there is tiny and the hole is way oversized. So we're just going to drop that into there like, oh dear, where's my tweezers? Just drop that into there. It's absolutely pointless filming this, isn't it? Because you just cannot see what I'm doing. As I say, when we do the next engines, I'm not going to bother filming it. We'll just look at the magazines. Okay, and then we'll do the same on this side. So I'm going to put a drop of glue in there. Drop of glue in there, like so. And then we're going to push that onto there. This is all very, very fiddly for a part work, but just bear with it. It's worth doing in the end. We get some glue into there. In fact, I'm going to use this rubbishy stuff because I've got plenty of it here. Oh, see what I mean? It's an absolute utter pain. It's stringy all the time. And you generally find as well, when you take the applicator away from the glue, you end up with great big black globs of glue all over your bench. See what I mean with the stringing? Rubbish. Right. So that should go in there like so. There we are. So there we go, they've gone together nicely. So that's our magnetos in. At least that's that done. Now we're going to flip it over, and we've got to add this part 34K. There's a hole in the side there, so better check it first, knowing what these are like with the pins and everything. It probably needs drilling out. No, it doesn't. It's like a prick in a top hat. So get some of our VMS glue, put it on there, just like so. I've got some of the other stuff on there still stringing. Look at it. It's, right, and that's going to go in there. Like so. It doesn't want to go in there now, it just fell in just now, didn't it? There we are. So that's gone in there like that. And then this, in turn, is going to go onto the back of the engine. So remove the sheath from the end of the propeller shaft, fit the shaft through. So that's going to go like that, through there. No, through there, sorry. So once again, that's upside down. No, it's not. So we've got a pin. So we've got 2 pins here and 2 pins there. So we've got 4 pins total. What's the chances of these going together? Slim? Very. Oh dear. It's going, but it's pretty darn tight. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Why can't they get their holes sorted out? Come on. Right, so we've got let's turn this on. We've got a pin there which is 1.1. That one's 1.1, that one's 1.3, and that one's 1.3. So I'm going to grab my drills. So we'll go 1.2 and we'll have to glue it. So we'll just draw them all 1.2. I don't like having to push everything together because it's when stuff starts to get broken. See, that's so tight in there I can't even turn it, so I need to use my pin vise. Hachette, if you're listening, why don't you just make these as one block of plastic so that we don't have to mess around with all this, because at the end of the day we're just going to be putting engine covers over it and never going to see any of it. And you know, I don't mind adding detail that you can't see. I do it all the time, as you all know if you follow my channel, but I don't see the point in struggling to get all this stuff together with bits that don't fit. We're going to have to drill those top holes out a bit bigger. Only to cover it all up. You know, it's just seems pointless. But the trouble is, you need all this because it's the only way you can mount the propellers. So it's going to go through there. And the trouble is, you see, with everything so tight. There we go. That's if they make the correct size holes, that's how it fits together. Look, it's not difficult. It's not rocket science. I'll put some glue on there, just like that. This rubbishy stuff is stringing all over the place. There we go. And we may as well put that back on there so we don't lose it. There we go. So there we are, we'll get the drills out of the way. So there is our completed work. So we have fitted the supercharger to the second engine. All done, we've got the magnetos on and everything as well. Oh, I've forgotten that pipe. That pipe goes on the top. So you've got a hole there, and a hole there, and a hole there, and a hole there, and that's where those 4 pipes go. So this is going to go into that hole there. That one is going to go into that hole there. Yeah, they need gluing as well. But you can see how that goes. That's going to fit like that. Okay, and then at the end of the day that's going to fit into the bulkhead. So that's it. That is step or pack 34 completed. I'm going to go and glue this hose in now. I've stopped and started this video enough. So we'll call that a day, and I'll see you all in about 4 weeks time for another 4 magazines. I wonder what we'll get next. I know that we've got the engine bearers coming next, but after that we'll probably start on the other side, undercarriage or something. Please, not another engine. Please, please, not another engine. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.